Do we have to go live on Facebook, or is it gone live now?
Should have gone live.
It should have just gone live. In fact, yeah, it's got a tick next to both of them. I'm guessing it works.
Sink. Hi, Stephen. Hi, Stephen. Okay, yeah,
Right,
the
okay.
audio is pretty good.
Right, okay.
It's not obviously as
It's
clear.
not as clear as the
but
microphone.
It's better than
Okay.
it going in and out all the time.
Afternoon, blimey, there's loads of you. Afternoon. Hi. Hello, Michelle. How are we doing? Wow.
I'm looking for.
Right, so we're doing a double. I'm doing a dish, and Ella's doing a dish.
Well, you've turned it into two now.
All right, I'm doing two. Well, I'm doing one dish, but I'm doing two different pastries because one pastry isn't clean because it's using sort of a Toro, so it's the suet, and one pastry is clean. So it's the short crust pastry. It's actually my preferred pastry. However, I've never done the pork roll with the short crust pastry. So it's going to work because I made gala pie with this pastry last at Christmas time, didn't I? So it's going to work anyway. I know it's going to work, but I thought rather than just show you one pastry, because making the pastries is very easy, we're going to do both. So mine involves these pork fillets. So I'm going to do one pork fillet. Hi, Lulu. Sorry, Ella's also filming this for YouTube. So I'm going to do one pork fillet wrapped in the suet pastry and one pork fillet wrapped in the short crust pastry, and then they're going to be roasted. I'll be able to get them both on the same tray, and we'll use the Ninja grill. So I'll be able to get them both into here, and we'll roast them in there. So anyway, I'll come back to them in a bit. I don't need them just yet. What I do need is bowl to make the first pastry. Now, I'm going to use a trick that I've not tried before, but I was told about it. It's Chelsea. So thanks, Ginger, for this. I've got the recipe up here, haven't I? So the reason why this isn't clean is that there's wheat flour mixed into it. However, font of all knowledge, otherwise known as Chelsea in the group, said just wash the flour off because it's fat. So the fat's not going to disappear, but the flour will. So I'm going to use a sieve to start with. See if we can sieve it off first. And actually, it is because it's just a coating. I can see it on my fingers. So there's no difference to the to mozzarella, grated mozzarella that has a bit of potato starch, so stop it from sticking to each other or to itself. Hello, Mark. There's plenty of you watching today, isn't there?
Oh, we might need to share this.
Oh, we haven't shared it yet. Okay. Right. Bear with me 2 seconds. I need to go to Facebook. So what are we all doing on this rather dull Sunday? It's a starch. Yeah, you can shut up. So it's started from sticking onto it, and you can shut up again. There we go. Hi, Deb. There we go. Right, it's shared. So let's see what this does. Oh yeah, plenty of flour coming out of that.
So that's not even running under water, is it? That's
No,
just
because it's just a coating, isn't it? I mean,
obviously it's hard to work out the macros on it.
yeah,
but
I
at
would
least
leave
you're
the macros
reducing.
as we've set them, and we've set the macros, or we've worked the macros out on the recipe. I mean, it's okay. It's lost 3 grams. Hi Sarah, hope you're feeling okay after the vaccine. Yeah, that's lost 3 grams. I'm not going to worry about them, but that's 3 grams of carbs that we've just lost out of there, or 3 grams of flour.
Yeah.
That we've just lost out of there. Right. So for this one, afternoon, Sharon, how are you feeling as well? Suet pastry. All the dry ingredients go into the bowl first. Now there are a couple of options. It's 50 grams of ground almonds or 50 grams of seeds. I was going to use the seeds.
Okay, sorry, I got the almonds down. But...
Right, now I prefer the darker version. If you use ground almonds, it'll be a much paler pastry. Whereas if you use the linseed, it'll be a bit more golden. Hi Roberta. Okay, so 50 grams of, and this is quite fine linseed. This all right, it's a plug. This is on our website. It is much finer than you would find in most supermarkets. I'm not saying that some others probably don't have it as fine as this, but it's been well milled, put it that way. Right, so it's 50 grams of milled linseed. Yes, you can mix seed and almonds together.
Do you want to pass me the mouse and I can pin comments?
Yeah, sure, sorry. There you go. 20 grams of coconut flour. Either or, Stephen. So either or. In fact, the picture that's on the website for the suet pastry is a chicken and leek pie or something like that we made.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done it as a steak pie as well, and that's the same as what I've just done here with the milled linseed. So just make it a couple of times and see which one you prefer. There's a little bit of coconut flour. Now I am thinking of changing this already, wondering whether without the coconut flour you add egg white protein.
Okay.
You don't want to use too much coconut flour to make it, because obviously it makes it sweet, doesn't it? Or it can make it sweet. And 30 grams of psyllium husk. Yeah, that's the other recipe I'm going to use, Rachel. I'm going to use the short crust recipe from the goat cheese tart for the second. Right, 30 grams of psyllium husk. Now, be aware that it's more like a fibre, it's more like a grain. If you get a powder, it can potentially turn your baking purple. It's actually quite a lot, isn't it? 30 grams.
It's because it's replacing, so the recipe was originally 30 grams of gluten.
Right, okay.
And we still obviously use it. But if you want to keep it gluten-free,
yeah. So
actually,
this is.
I don't know if you can because it's suet. Does suet contain gluten?
Yeah, because it's got wheat flour in it, so it's not gluten-free, which is why I like the other one. Right. So all of the dry ingredients.
And then the recipe says vital wheat gluten holds it together a little bit better, so psyllium makes a slightly flakier, thicker pastry.
Right. Okay. And then just a few, it says 4 to 5 tablespoons of water. You really do just have to sort of play this one by ear, sort of don't add too much to start with. It will come together when you start to sort of knead it. So I'm just going to mix it. It starts to clump together. the dogs are going to be in no rush to go out this afternoon.
Yeah. Trickle it down.
Here's me thinking I was going to get the washing done and dried. No chance now. Right. So even with sort of squeezing it between my fingers now, I can see it still needs more water. But again, it's small amounts at a time. And just start gathering it together in your fingertips until it starts to create a ball. I'm trying to show you there. It's slowly coming together now. Nearly.
So are you basically doubling the recipe up? Is one of those fillets?
That's yeah. There's 2 whole fillets there.
Yeah.
So
you're making.
I'm making dinner for today and snacks for tomorrow.
Yeah, 2 dinners for the 3 of us, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because one of those fillets would feed 3 of us. Probably only just really, actually. They're not huge.
It depends on what else you serve it with.
Yeah, they're not huge fillets. Okay, so this is now coming together. You can sort of see it's still a bit crumbly, still a little bit. I'll add just a touch more water, but it's really. Actually, I'm not sure now. Suddenly, it's come together.
You know what psyllium
Yeah, suddenly it just springs together, or it just holds together. So this is why you want to just hold back, hang fire on adding too much water in one go. Hi, Keto Calibrated. I like your channel and content. My first time on your. Fantastic, well done. Where are you? Are you UK, US, or are you elsewhere? Okay. So I'm going to let that rest for a few minutes now because it's holding itself together. Just southern US. Excellent. Well, thank you for coming to watch us. We might do things a little bit differently in the UK that you do in the US, but food is food. Right, there you go. So there's the first pastry. I'm just going to let it sit for a few minutes. I'm going to make the other one while I let this one sit. I definitely want the psyllium husk too. And one thing I'm surprised at, and I don't know whether this would make a difference, whether I've set cold water on there, maybe that should be warm to help bring that together quicker.
Okay, well, I'll just stop.
Psyllium works better with warm water, so I'm not sure why I use cold there.
Well, I need you to make the again for steak and kidney pudding.
Right, it doesn't matter because it's worked. I'm just going to let it rest and sort of properly get some elasticity in there. Right, okay, so other recipe. We're using a little food processor.
Coffee break.
Yeah, coffee break. We just had a little mad half hour with the dogs. Just, it gives us a bit of peace and quiet, and they're both now crashed out on the sofa. All right, so the other recipe is the short crust recipe. Oh, I need the mouse to change the...
I think keto spice. Right there. Goat's cheese tart.
Goat's cheese tart, yeah. Good if I found one. Goat's cheese tart, 50. Must congratulate our designer of these books. Quite easy to use, aren't they?
Oh, thank you.
Right, okay, so again, shall I use ground almonds or shall I use linseed on this one?
Use ground almonds.
Ground almonds, okay. So again, either or, you can make this nut-free or you can make this with, and I suppose, have we ever tried this with an alternative?
I've used milled pecans in the sweet version.
Right, okay. Didn't get any butter out.
Well, no, because it needs to be straight from the fridge.
It does need to be straight from the fridge.
See, everything happens for a reason.
So, yeah, you want to use the butter straight from the fridge because you don't want this to be a paste. You're just pulsing the mix together, but you definitely want the butter to still be quite firm. So it's 50 grams of butter, isn't it?
She get it spot on.
50 grams. Take a picture.
I can't see the number.
Honestly. 50 grams on the nose. Just cut it into little bits.
Hang on, read the instructions. I'm sure you don't add that in first.
Oh, we
Flowers first.
Oh, we're mixing the flowers and dropping the butter in. Okay.
It is lucky I'm paying attention today.
Yeah, I'm not.
Helped you out in the workout as well this morning.
Yeah, what was the word that I forgot?
You were trying to describe the tricep dips.
Oh, right, yeah, unlock. I couldn't remember the word unlock. I was like, bend. No. Let go. No, yeah. Right, so 100 grams of ground almonds. Pretty much all of that. 100 grams of ground almonds. Did you get the xanthan gum out?
Oh, no, sorry. Bottom left. Well, no, because I didn't know you were doing this pastry. So I got the right ingredients out to do it.
True. Just a quarter teaspoon of xanthan gum. So all the flowers are going to go in together to start with. Parmesan.
Do we have any parmesan?
Yeah.
I know we have some manchego.
No, parmesan is in here. We did have. Has Louis?
I don't know, but I couldn't find it a couple of days ago. So there's a bit of manchego, which would be nice. Or use the Gouda.
That was quite a big block of parmesan.
I haven't even seen it, so are you sure you bought some?
No. There's definitely some in there. Honestly, he goes through parmesan like it's. Well.
I've not seen him eat it in ages.
No. All right.
I think you're just dreaming.
No. Right, so we'll have Gouda instead then. It's only a small amount, and it's to sort of help with the. Hi, Dawn. I'm not going to try and do the accent. I'd offend most Brummies. Although you're not a Brummie, are you? Dudley. Yeah, the cheese is just to help it sort of taste more savoury. There we go. So what do I need? I need 25 grams of cheese. 26.
Slacking.
I'm not doing too bad today. What do you mean slacking?
I don't know, you contemplating putting that
I
Gouda
do.
back in the pocket.
I do. And what's the point? That's right.
What are you understanding the recipe?
Well, I'm just reading it through because it's been a while since I've made. We've not had pastry for ages.
No.
Okay. Little bit of cheese in there. Right, so let's give this a blitz to start with. Then we're going to start adding the butter and the egg. There's just one lump of cheese in there, but
Someone's going to get a cheesy.
someone's going to get slightly cheesier piece, yeah. Right, so I'm adding in the chunks of butter, but we're only going to lightly blitz it. We just want to sort of almost create the breadcrumbs.
And you only add half at a time, don't you?
Yeah, I'm only adding sort of half the butter to start with. This is, if you were doing this with white flour, you would normally rub it in. You use fingertips and rub it in. You still want little lumps of fat, little lumps of butter. In fact, it was one of our members, Katie. She made this, but she did it with lard,
Yes.
which would be a great idea. But I think it'd be too, for you, you probably wouldn't enjoy that as much as the buttery version. Again, just pulse it. Just, you know, again, you can sort of see here now that it's breadcrumbs. Yeah, you want it into breadcrumbs first. We're going to mix an egg into that. Again, very quickly mixed.
Did you add the coconut flour already?
No, the coconut. You don't add the coconut flour to this.
Just because you weren't reading the instructions.
Yeah, no.
To make sure.
That's why I was looking at thinking, where's the oh yeah, of course, the coconut flour goes in at the end.
Yeah.
Very, very last thing to form the pastry. I sprinkled the bread over here. I didn't have to sprinkle them. Enough. See, you see it's all come together. Just don't over blitz it. You don't need to make a paste. And then with this one, you could use this bowl if you wanted, but we're just going to mix in 20 grams of coconut flour. So I know I'm making washing up.
Well, I'm using that anyway.
Yeah, I need to wash it up anyway, but it just makes it easier to get the 20 grams of coconut flour mixed in properly without blitzing it.
Pork and cranberry pies.
Mm-hmm. Right, so just 20 grams of coconut flour. This is just going to help hold it together and create like a take some of the moisture out of the pastry. Okay.
You put coconut flour in the shit.
Actually, you can just about see. Let's get rid of that. So just mix the coconut flour in. I'm using a spatula because obviously if I use my hands, which are hot, so I'm going to start melting the butter. So just press the coconut flour and I want to handle it as little as possible. But it looks remarkably like standard short crust pastry.
I think especially with the almonds as well, because it's got the white flour kind of.
Right, and there we go. We don't need to, again, overmix that. Now, the things with this pastry is when you go to roll it out or when you go to handle it, it will break up. There is no way you're going to get this to hold like traditional pastry. It just doesn't do that. But it's so easy to repair. So it's a bit like patchwork, and when it's baked, you don't see it. You don't see the bits you had to repair. So there you go. There's the second pastry. So that's the cleaner version. There's the short crust, and then here's the suet pastry. Right. So let's start with the suet pastry. And obviously, I now want to try all of these with legume flour as well. Because it's also a good binder, isn't it? So it'll work. Well, it should work. Although I can't use lupin on anything that Ella's eating.
Well, if you wanted pastry again tomorrow, I could use up that turkey thing that's in the fridge for dinner, and then you and Lou just have. But I don't know whether you'd want. Oh, you'll have left.
We're going to have loads of this left. You do want to use a couple of sheets of greaseproof to roll both of these out. Right, this has definitely gone. It's almost like a bready, like you can sort of see now. I don't know if you can see in the inside. It's almost gone like an uncooked bread. I'm going to have a little bit of coconut flour on here. It will stick, but there's a couple of tricks that I can show you to stop it from causing you too many problems. When I've ripped it in half, I might need to re-knead that. Let's see. No, we're getting there. So, professional bakers, please look away when I'm rolling this. I know I'm doing it wrong. In fact, I am going to have to redo that. When I opened it up, I've created a crater in the middle here. So I'm going to have to knead that together again.
So you take this opportunity to say, this is what you shouldn't do, and I just did it.
So yeah, this is what you shouldn't do. Don't tear it in half and then try and roll it, because it ain't going to like it. Right, let's try again. Take two. Yeah, so professional bakers, pastry makers, just, I know. Right, so before I go any thinner than this, I'm just going to separate the pastry from the bread, or from the paper, because the thinner it gets, the more difficult it's going to be to get this paper off the pastry. Okay? Well, you can see this is making quite a big piece of pastry now. So this would go over a pie. You could. I never do the sort of like the base of a pie with this. I just do a pie lid.
I think what we did last time is you had way too much to just cover the pork, so you just baked them off with like.
Yeah, and which is the same now. This is going to be too much for this one piece of pork. But you can always make little pies. little, or you can make little pie cases like crust. So make little ones, blind bake them first. I've never made a big pie.
Can you pass me my water, please? Thank you.
I might make some little cheese tartlets or something with the pastry that's left over later on. Right, so let's see. That is reasonably thin. I mean, I can't really show you properly how thin that is, but
I mean, you can see in the video.
yeah, okay. It's probably 3 millimeters. Yeah, you reckon? Again, just transfer because you want to be able to roll this. If it's stuck to the paper, like it is there, then you're gonna have no chance. Okay. So we are just going to use, this is some tomato sauce that I made yesterday. We have it in this. I mean, look at it. We have it in a certain person's protein shaker. But it's great as a little tomato sauce sort of pourer. So thanks, Joe.
Joe's great. There's nothing against Joe.
Nothing against Joe whatsoever. So that's a freshly made tomato with paprika and garlic sauce. When I say freshly made, we made it yesterday. I'm going to add a little bit more herbs to it. And then here's the fun part. Yeah, it's just about, I think that's about right. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. Actually,
Got loads of spare dough.
well, there's loads of spare dough, but I'm not sure I'm gonna take any off. I'm just gonna wrap it round. You are better using the paper to handle it. Now, do we normally wrap this in foil?
Yeah.
Or can it go in baking paper?
It's in FFS. Where do you put that? Yeah.
Just get it to start cooking around. I'm gonna leave it in the paper. Be easier to handle.
Yeah, no, it just says bake for 10 to 15 minutes with the greaseproof paper on.
All right, it's good.
And then paper should now easily come away from the pastry, cook for a further 35 to 40 minutes.
So there you go. There's the first one that's sort of ready to go in. Actually, I will get both side by side. So, right, so let's quickly do the second one. And then Ella can get cracking on winter spice cake.
In May.
In May. What made you sort of want to do that again today?
Well, I need a photo.
Right. Here's how we eat. Ella goes, we've got some random things coming up on our meal plan for the next couple of weeks because we lost a load of images in a little bit of a data crash that we had a few weeks ago.
Oh, more like now.
Well, yeah, it's a couple of months ago now, isn't it? So we're having to remake a lot of dishes that we haven't made for, well over 2 years.
I would say that, say a year.
You
I mean,
reckon?
because
Oh, I suppose.
a vest is only a year old.
Wow, it feels longer than that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So thankfully we don't have to do Christmas pictures until about September. Right, this pastry is no different. Start rolling it out.
Did you put any coconut flour?
I haven't done yet, no. I'm going to separate the paper from the pastry in a second. I will give it a bit more coconut flour. But you can see with this one, hopefully you can see that. You can see the fleckled. You see you can see the, yeah, you see the flecks of butter. Okay, 2 to 3 years, like that. It's funny because we've only, well, I say we, Ella's been banging on about YouTube for ages. I've pretty much ignored it. However,
here we are.
However, she's right. She's right. I just hate it when the teenagers are right.
It's like, every conversation goes, hey, we should do this. No. 2 weeks later, hey, we've done this. Hey, we should make a cookbook. No, we're not doing that. Oh. And then you were the same when you're like, let's make a public group. I was like, why?
Yeah.
So the thing that made me laugh the most is when we were both separately thinking about a free recipe library. Was it me that was that went like?
It was you that said it, and I was like, yeah, I felt the same.
I was like, oh my god.
So again, you don't need to be too precise with this because we're just going to roll it, fold it, and hide all the sort of like jagged edges, which means you get that really sort of thick, crunchy crust of a pastry and certain parts of the pork.
What do we call it? Rustic.
It's rustic. It's homemade. Hello, Archie. What do you want? I think that needs to go just a little bit more. Right. So exactly the same.
The stove does look very pretty.
It does look nice, doesn't it? I mean, it's very, you can see it in the pictures, which is great. Did I put it? Yeah, I did. Little sprinkling of herbs. Obviously, you can change the sauce, you can change the herbs. Whichever you prefer. Right. Okay.
So the book says 4 portions. So this is for the suet, and this is including the suet pastry.
Yeah.
4 portions, 4 grams of carbs, 32 grams of protein, 22 grams of fat, 7 grams of fiber.
Nice.
I reckon this one will be, well, I suppose because you're using almond, it might be a bit higher carb than the linseed suet, but
yeah,
it would be higher fat, I reckon.
Oh, I don't know because I was about the same because obviously butter, suet.
Yeah. But then the flat, oh no, linseed and suet as well. Yeah, there is that.
Right, there we go. There we go. Number 2. So we're going to get them in the oven.
So 180 for 10 to 15 minutes with the paper on.
And as we'll give them sort of 10-15 minutes, let the pastry start to sort of, you know, solidify around the meat, and then I'll take the paper off and let them just cook naturally for a little while longer until the pork is cooked. Right, so I need to clean that out.
So I'll use the moving.
Yeah.
I've got the round cake tin.
Yeah, okay.
Although say the base.
I think that's in. Yeah, it's in there. There it is. It's the back. Yeah.
No, that's the silver one.
Oh, is it? It might be over here then. I'll find it while you start doing the mix.
Thank you. So I need that. Now, before Bob starts trying to talk about the fact that we're using dates, yes, we're using dates. This is the only recipe which we use them in, and it's purely because of the taste.
Well, it's
and
the
the texture.
authenticity of the cake.
Yeah, where's the? I need the recipe. So across 12 portions, we're using only 40 grams of dates. I will try this recipe without them at some point. So we class this as a low carb cake rather than a keto cake. However, it's still only 5 grams of carbs per portion. So if you had a very, very low carb main meals, then it could easily still fit in a more keto lifestyle. So first thing I'm going to do is blitz. Oh, I can't bother to clear that out. I'm going to blitz these.
Well, I suppose it's only butter and
Yeah, it's just butter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's had nothing.
Blitz the dates in the processor. Now I'm trusting Dad's word here that this is going to blend properly. There's such a small amount. Last time we did this, we had a tiny little thingy. Sounds like there maybe is a stone in there that we didn't take out.
I don't know. I think so.
Let's have a look.
Oh yeah, there is.
Is it?
Well, no, it's just very, very hard skin actually. Very
Anyway,
hard.
that's actually that's blitzed down enough.
Yeah.
It's just scattered all the way around the dough now. So, can you get the bowl down, please?
Yeah.
Probably the white one, so then I can crack the eggs on it. Okay, so this came from the almond butter bread recipe that Michelle gave us, and like the bread, this one doesn't look like it's going to work because there's no flour, and it looks like there's way too much liquid to flour.
Sorry, did you want this little one or do you want the big one?
The white one.
You said you want the glass one.
No, I said the white one. So I can crack eggs on it.
Right.
Oh, right. Where's the scales? I don't like this. I'm cooking up and doing.
There.
Everything's moved. Okay. In a large mixing bowl, combine the almond butter and eggs to create a paste. So this uses a lot of almond butter. So we don't make it often because it can be quite expensive. I had to stop Louis eating all of the almond butter because he's going very light. There's no tomorrow at the moment. I've actually only made this with smooth, but we do have some crunchy here, which I think would be quite nice. So I'm going to empty out the jar of smooth first, and then we'll see where we are. So 210 grams of almond butter. Just make sure that the almond butter you're using is only almonds and not, with oils and whatnot. So the ingredients will say 100% almonds. It probably will advertise on the front as well. And you can see it's quite runny. It doesn't stay solid. I also wouldn't advise using peanut butter instead. Some people have tried it and it doesn't work. I think it's just because of the strong taste. I mean, I like peanut butter, but it's quite a strong taste in something like this. Right. So I'll need quite a lot of the second jar as well.
No, not there. Okay.
So the thing is, I'm making this because I need the photos, but I'm going to freeze my slices.
Are you?
Because I'm trying out no sweetener for a few days.
Okay.
And it won't last until like the end of the week because
No.
it'll get eaten too quickly. So I'm going to use the remainder of the crunchy. I hope Louie's not too annoyed that I've used up so much of this. There we go.
You still have to the tray.
Yeah,
It's not- oh, it's not.
that's the one that
No, I thought it was.
okay. Almond butter's in. Now I need eggs. Use these ones.
Do you need any more?
No, I only need 2. Oh, perfect. 2 in here. Kitchen's up to its state now. Got it?
Yeah, it's hiding under the ninja.
I thought it was. Right, 2 large eggs. That's that finished now. I'll just swap around.
Do you want it lining?
Yeah. Please. Okay, and I'll use a little spatula. These are my favourite things to mix with now. It really works. It's not like, you know, when a whisk sometimes gets clogged with, especially this almond butter, it'd be a nightmare. So, almond butter and eggs. It takes a little bit of work because obviously the almond butter's a bit thick in places, but there we go. So it's all mixed together. It's like more like the colour of peanut butter now rather than almond. Next, add the dates. So they're not as finely chopped as they probably should be, but that's all right. Okay, and then the next bit is chia seeds. Now, we now have milled chia seeds on the website, so we'll use those. I used these in the chia brownies last week, and they really, really worked. They gave a better texture. Louis not a fan of whole chia seeds, but he really liked these. So it's almost like a chia flour, really, isn't it?
Yes.
How fine it is.
Yes, very fine.
Okay. Then bicarb. I need little spoons. We don't have any little spoons.
Oh, teaspoon. Oh, right.
Yeah, they've all gone out of the drawer.
Right.
You can tell we've been baking today. So 7 grams, that'll be 1.5 teaspoons.
You can't have this.
You sure want the wrapper?
Yeah.
1.5 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. Mixed spice. Absolutely love this stuff. So 15 grams of mixed spice. It's about a tablespoon. This came from Daily Bread in Northampton. A little bit light. There you go. 1.5 tablespoons. And finally, in this step, sweetener, not a lot, 15 grams, because the dates are already in there and they're quite very sweet anyway. So 15 grams of Truvia, Natvia, or Purevia. If you look on the website, there's a little infographic about the sweeteners we use and the ones we avoid. Oh, don't tell me, it's going to be... Okay, we're a little bit over, but that's fine. You can use the... I didn't want to have to open up a new tub just to use like 3 grams. So it's already coming together to form a dough. Okay, it says combine well and then add the lemon juice, and this is where it starts to froth because it reacts with the bicarb. So 25 mils of lemon juice, same as 25 grams. I just squeezed 1 lemon, there's a little bit left.
You finished with the blender now, yeah?
Oh yeah. There you go. You can see it's starting to froth, and this is what makes it rise. It's quite easy to mix in, isn't it?
It's very easy. It's like the almond butter bread as well. When you get to that point with the liquid in it, it's really sort of easy to mix.
There we go. All mixed together. It's a lovely colour. It smells great. Just going to get some of the almond butter off the bottom of the bowl. You want to taste that? See what you think?
Actually, that's pretty much spot on.
Mm. I think the texture of this cake is really like, what's best to describe it? Like treacle?
Yes.
It's a really like thick, but not dense cake, if that makes sense. It's quite smooth, which is ironic because I'm using crunchy almond butter. So the book says the mix will start to create a foam as the lemon juice reacts with the bicarbonate of soda. Keep mixing until the foam is fully combined. I'm now just moving it into a tin. Dad's lined it with greaseproof paper at the bottom. To be honest, this is a little bit, this tin's a bit bigger than it probably should have been, but we'll work with it. I actually can't remember how much this rises. We might be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, it's about, well, I think it's about double.
I think it rises a lot, but then it sinks in, and that creates that lovely dome.
Yeah. It's quite heavy.
And this was originally called winter spice cake, and then we started making it at all times of the year, like now. So it's now called mixed spice cake. On the website, it's both, so it'll appear if you search either. Alright, so there we go. I'm just going to spread it out into the edges. Right. There we go. So it's not that deep, probably maybe, what would you say? A centimetre and a bit? Maybe a bit more? It's going to about there. Yeah, 1.5 centimetres. That's going to bake, I'm putting it in a Ninja Foodie. So in the normal oven,
Sorry.
In a normal oven, it'll take 180 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. In the Ninja, I'm going to drop it down to 170 and maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Never baked it in this before, so I don't know. The last bit to bake, especially the Ninja, will be right in the center. So that's the bit that I'll test just to make sure it's firm on top. And then I'll take it out, allow it to cool before trying to cut it open because it will sink a little bit in the middle. And obviously you don't want it to just fall apart. So that's that going in. How's the pork doing? Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Where's the lid for the almond butter?
Oh wow. So I'll put them here. Let's see if I can get this out just to sort of show.
Right, well, you got plenty of space there. I need to get back to the camera. Oh. This is proper multitasking then.
Right, so these have been in the oven for what, about 10-15 minutes. Now you can, hopefully you can see that this is the short crust pastry. It's starting to go golden, and then this is the suet pastry. I can see that they're both starting to sort of cook. So I'm going to do the difficult part of taking them out of the wrapper. Yeah, perfect.
Easy does it.
I am going to try and lift that now, sliding off.
There you go. Lovely colour already.
Still quite brittle, so you can sort of see it's just cracked a little bit, but
what do we say?
super fine.
It's rustic. I think if we ever make something in a pastry that turns out exactly how it's meant to, it'll be a miracle.
There we go. There's the other one.
That
So
looks good.
the other one, it had a little bit more coverage, so you can sort of see now. There we go. Yeah, we got the charming. Right, so I'm gonna pop these back in. There we go.
Yeah, they can't hear you from there.
Yeah, I know. Yes, we've got the Ninja Foodie. We haven't got the air fryer, but it makes the same noise. So the Ninja Foodie, the 9-in-1, and then we've got the Ninja Grill. So the Foodie, I'm going to put the cake in now because that'll be ready. There we go. So yeah, the Foodie has got the cake in it, and the Grill has got the 2 pork fillets in. Yeah, we do within the members group, we do a ninja cooking class on a Thursday night. Now you don't have to have a ninja to join in, but it is funny that there are so many ninjas in the group now that when there's 15-20 people in the session, when one ninja goes up, everyone looks to see if it's theirs. But yeah, they're great little machines. Right, are we done?
Yeah.
Because there's no point waiting around for the pork, because that's going to be another sort of 20 minutes, maybe half an hour.
Yeah.
What's your cake got?
At least 20 minutes.
Right. So, and we've bored people for an hour now. So, thank you very much, folks.
Sorry.
It's all right. What are we back with?
I'm cooking tomorrow.
Okay.
Making banana bread. And I was going to add cow nibs into it. And yet again, it's going in the freezer because I'm not going to eat it.
Yeah, that one can go in the freezer.
And then on Saturday, I'm making chocolate cheesecake because I need to photo of that as well.
Oh my life. I suppose we've got guests around Saturday, so that's easy. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for joining in, Roberta. Thanks, Sarah. Keto Calibrated. Let us know your real name, and then we can say hello properly. Yeah, thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow at some point. It'll be Ella tomorrow, not me. I'm going to be out. We'll see you during the week. Come and join us on Facebook if you fancy joining in with the group. Come and find us, Keto Fitness Club public group. Right. See you later.